So our program here is a little bit strange because when we run it, the picture is gigantic, right, compared to the size of the screen. So we want to resize it, and you might be thinking to yourself, oh, well, that's easy. I could just go to my pen and I could say t.shape size. I could change it to 1, which is like, the size is usually a number from 1 to 10. Right, so if I choose 1, that should be very small, but it does not change the shape of the size. I'm sorry, the size of the shape, right? And you might even try like pen size, and that doesn't do anything either. So the only way that we can get this done is if we change the size of the picture. Okay, make the picture smaller, and then that way the picture that we put as our pen of our turtle is going to be smaller as well. And what I usually do to get this done is I use Photoshop, but I know that many of you don't have Photoshop available, so I'm going to show you a free version or a free way to get this done. Okay, so we go to Chrome or your web browser, and we could say Online Photoshop. Hit enter. We're going to use Pixlr right here, this one. Right. So I'll click on this one. We could say Pixlr X, that's fine. So we'll click on Pixlr X. I'm going to choose on Open Image. So I'll open up that. Ooh, can I drag it in? Okay, so it says here that I could also drag and drop the file. Okay, so I'm going to come over here, go to, oh, I'm sorry, not here. The picture is in my PyCharm. So I'm going to open up my PyCharm, and I'm going to drag the picture to the side here. Okay, so I got my cloud, and I will start to manipulate it. Okay, so what we can do now that we have our cloud is we can click on this first button here, and we could say resize image. So I'm going to resize the image. Make sure your constrained proportions is activated. Okay, so that's activated there. And then we're going to change the width to be, let's say, 100 pixels. Maybe that might be a little bit too big, actually. So let's do 70 pixels. And we'll say apply. And now we have our picture here. And I am going to say save. Save it as, so it doesn't have the ability to save it as a GIF. So I'm just going to save it as a PNG. And I will change it to a GIF. Okay, so I saved it as a PNG, and now we need to change it into a GIF. So I can open up a new tab, and I could say convert to GIF, and go through that same process that we went through earlier, which is go to this website. I'm going to take that picture that I just converted here, drop it. I'm going to start my conversion by clicking on that little button there. And now I could say download, right? So right here it says download. So I'm going to save it as cloud onto my desktop as a GIF so that it overwrites the previous cloud.gif. So I'm going to save that. Okay, so now it is saved on my computer, and what I can do is take it from the desktop and move it into my project. So sometimes it says that, but I'm going to try it again. Make sure my cursor is on the project folder and say refactor. It's going to say one already exists in the directory, and I do want to overwrite it, so I'm going to hit overwrite. And now my picture is a smaller picture. So when I go to image practice, I can right click and I can say run, and you could see that our picture is now smaller, right? So what can I do with that? Well, I can go to my window and I can say wn.bg color, and I could say light blue, and then right here I can do a for I in range 10, or maybe I could say 40. I'm gonna go to a random x, so random.rand range from -300 to +300, and then on the y I'm going to do a random.rand range from 0 to 300. So here I need to import random. And what am I trying to do with this? What I'm trying to do is have the turtle go to a random position on the x-axis, right? So from one side to the other side, but then only put clouds above the ground, right? And let's say here the ground is at 0. So on the y, it's only going to go from 0 to 300. So that'll leave the clouds at the top half of the screen. So let me go ahead and try running that. So you see that? Right? So we got these random clouds all over the top of our screen. Okay. So just one way that we could play around with this, but the point of this lesson is to show you how to resize the image so that it's the right size that you want it to be before you use it.